my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we're going to be taking a look at the self. Now the self is the soul, the witness, and the watcher. The self is the prism that allows the spectrum of our personalities to radiate. It does not judge, prohibit, suppress, or oppress any of its parts, as it lovingly knows that all aspects have a time and a place, and leads us to experience the full breadth of life's offerings. The self is the central abiding container, the awareness of the infinite universe of possibilities. When this card appears, it's a call to step back in, to witness consciousness, to observe yourself navigating the world. Ask yourself, am I the stew or am I the chef? In most situations, our egos draw us into the cauldron where we swirl, spin, and smolder in the chaos. Yet the self is a graceful culinary dancer, watching, waiting, observing, as the spectrum of ingredients become the flavor of our life. Look in the mirror for 30 seconds or more. Attempt to see the you beyond the you. Now this card highlights witnessing, accepting new aspects of self. Wow. So a big thing that I wanted to note is how the book states, are you the stew or are you the chef? And that's so funny because one thing that I say all the time is people go, oh, how are you? And I go, oh, same soup, just reheated. Or like on winter days, I'll go, same soup, just a little chilly today. Or, on summer days, on hot summer days, I go, same soup, just reheated. A little hot though, so I'm always like mixing it up. So I find that I myself am the stew. I am not often a chef. I am not a person who needs that kind of control, though. I'm more than happy to just kind of drift in the stew with all the ingredients. Very interesting. I want to go ahead and get a chakra oracle card. But before I do that, let's grab an angel number. Looks like we have 351. 351 is your angel number for today. You can go into your browser, type in 351 angel number meaning, and that'll be your message from Spirit. Looks like I have Cancer energy being highlighted today. Little water sign. And then we also, Cancer the crab. Maybe you like crab stew. God, what do they call that? Gumbo? Like a seafood boil? And then we had Mars energy. So this is all about passion coming out. God, all I can think about are those TikTok seafood boils. If you tried one of those, will you let me know if they were good? I was too scared to order one. I don't know, I just couldn't trust anything off, I couldn't trust food off of TikTok shop. Ooh, we have complacency being highlighted here. Interesting. And on the back of the deck, I have bittersweet coming out. Interesting. I'm going to go ahead and grab an animal spirit card to go with this. Oh, that came out very, very quick. We have the turtle. A lot of water sign energy here. Okay, interesting. So that's very Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. I know that the turtle is about slowing down. I know it's a very slow-moving energy. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Yeah, yet another thing that you can turn into a stew, actually. Not that I would recommend it, but I don't know. I've never had turtle stew. You let me know if you've had it. So we have turtle. Ancient soul, grounded, trusting, at home in the self. That's so funny. At home in the self. It is wonderful to be in the presence of a turtle personality. Like the beaver, the turtle has a strong relationship with the earth and water elements simultaneously. This helps to ground and connect them to the deeper truths of life. No matter where their travels lead them, turtle energy is behind all great writers and storytellers as they collect life experiences under their shells for later use. The most potent turtle energy helps us close all the other books and begin to tell our own true tale. They are peaceful, adventurous, and productive. This actually gives me such a strong sense of Capricorn in the second house, because Capricorn in the second house, which the second house is all about finances, Capricorn ruling the second house, it's heavily about learning finances. So it highlights very heavily that even though it's guaranteed success to have Capricorn in the second house, that success comes very slowly and after a lot of trials and tribulations. And so that might be what you're experiencing here, is you've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations. You might be feeling burnt out and exhausted. But there's something here. There's some kind of goal. Ugh, I'm amazed by all these beautiful colors. The orange and yellow and green. There is a sense that there is like a real goal or dream or passion. It's that Mars energy, that passion coming out that you want to follow. It's just, but it feels like it's taking too long. And you might feel like, you know, you're kind of burnt out or you're becoming complacent with it because it's taking so long. Oh my. Yeah. Let's go ahead and get some more information. What do I want to do? Okay. I think I'm going to grab one from my Alice in Wonderland deck. I think that's the direction I want to go in. Yeah. Just one, please, please. Thank you. Okay, it says mortality. Life is brief, bright, beautiful, and yours to live. Beautiful. Okay, yeah, maybe you've been wondering what your purpose is. Interesting. And on the back of the deck, I have such a curious dream. Grounding, returning to reality, and coming home. Maybe you've been in your head a lot lately about what it is that you want to do. Maybe you've been like for me, I really hate the grind of like a 9 to 5. And so every time that I've worked in a 9 to 5, I've also worked like tirelessly outside of the 9 to 5 to build something different. Like even these tarot videos, I actually make potpourri. But it took me about like a year and a half of just working every single day after I left my 9 to 5 to like get the formula right so that they wouldn't like rot after being dried. And as like just this leaf alone is like I think 8 months old, and we have very, very light, I don't know if it's gonna show correctly, we have very light like wear and tear on it. It's still pretty much in the same position that it was in when I first dried it, thanks to the formula that I used on it. I'm very, very grateful for that, but that took a lot of work. I'm trying to get this too. Give me one. Okay, my music should come back on any time now, but my power just went out. That was so very strange. But yeah, then I guess even with the potpourri, you know, I spent so long making this potpourri, and I haven't even got it out for sale yet because I wanted to build this, my tarot stuff, instead. And I'm really, really grateful, though, for the time that I did spend on this, because even though I felt very complacent in creating my potpourri, because it took so long, it was a lot of waiting activity of, like, tinkering with different formulas to see which one was gonna prevent like any kind of rot or mold, and what was gonna keep the scent the longest, and what was gonna help it keep its shape, and which methods to dry the roses at, all these different things that I had to tinker with. And in between that was a lot of complacency. It was just a lot of waiting. Like I had to try the rack method for drying, which can take like 3 to 4 weeks. And so a lot of that I just felt so uneasy with myself, because I was like, I'm wasting so much time, but I have no other option than to waste time. And through doing the rack method and getting that like uneasy, complacent energy, I finally broke down and I just bought a like herb drying kit. And so then I started with like the salts and all of that fun stuff, and I started to get into that for drying roses. And even that would take like, you know, 4 or 5 days. So then I got complacent again, and I got very annoyed with the fact that it was taking so long. So I broke down a second time, and then I bought a drying kit, like an actual like dryer for my roses, and that works immaculately, and it makes me so happy. And so now I have all this knowledge on how to dry roses in many different ways, and I found the way that works best for me. And then after that, I had to figure out all the formulas of like how to preserve them the best, how to preserve the smell, how to package them. It was like this 2-year-long adventure. And throughout all of it, my tarot stuff I'd gone completely complacent with it. I hadn't even bothered to like start up on the social media aspect of it. I was just like, oh, I'll get to it when I get to it. But it made me feel really bad, because the entire reason I wanted to make potpourri was for tarot decks, for altars, for rose readings, things like that. And I felt so complacent with my tarot until I got to a point where I could put my roses to the side and just go, okay, let's focus back on tarot. And now I'm here. And I'm very happy for that. So even though, you know, a lot of people in my life looked at me and they're like, wow, like she's bouncing from, you know, growing roses to trying them and then making potpourri, and now she's doing tarot. It looks all unconnected or disconnected to other people. But I know deep in my soul, like, this is part of my purpose. This is what I want to do. This is who I am. Ooh, okay, that came out very quickly. We have pressure cooker, rage, ready to explode. And I was just talking about breaking down as well. You know, and that's something that happens in a pressure cooker. Like, it breaks down the oils, it breaks down the fats in something. So maybe that's what you're doing. Maybe you're breaking down and analyzing the things in your current life to find out what's going to bring you the most joy and how can you make it work the best for you. Let's get one or two. We have commitment in reverse. Yeah, you might be struggling to find something to commit to. You know, I have a cousin like that. I have a cousin whose like family is pretty well off, and my bio mom used to like talk crap about them all the time because they would let their daughter do whatever hobby she wanted. So she would do like figure skating, and then she'd do like horse riding, and then she'd do like tennis. And my bio mom would get like all in a huff about it, and she'd be like, oh, they just let her do whatever she wants and she's just constantly quitting these things. And it's like, this lack of commitment energy though wasn't bad. It wasn't bad for her to not be forced to stick with something she did not enjoy doing. And on top of that, she has so much knowledge on how to do all these things now. I love my cousin. She's wonderful. And I think the way that her parents were able to kind of give her those opportunities was amazing, because I didn't have those opportunities growing up. And I think that's the real, I think, you know, my bio mom was just jealous of the fact that she couldn't give us those same opportunities. We also have past, history, something that has happened. Yeah, you might be looking at the past, looking at how things haven't really worked out the way that you wanted them to. Maybe you're thinking about things that you've done in the past that you thought were going to work out but didn't, and how you can maybe build off of what you learned there. Maybe that's what you need to do, is build off of what you learned there. I'm going to grab a theme for this pile. I'm using my theme deck. What's a theme for the self, please, Spirit? Okay, confidence. Purr. Yeah, and you know, that's a big thing, is like, if I hadn't been so confident with everything that I have tried to do to like build up my career, simply put, I'd still be in a 9-to-5. We have psychic abilities coming up at the back of the deck here. Yeah, maybe you intuitively know exactly what you want to do, but other people kind of push you into this place where you might feel like it's not worth it, but you know yourself best. You are not the stew, babe. Other people are not just like telling you what you need to be doing with your life. You are the chef. You can put in whatever ingredients you want. You can choose to do whatever hobby, whatever career that you want. And I think Spirit is trying to build your confidence in this area so that way you can do that. You know, it takes a lot of confidence to do tarot readings, and it took a lot of confidence to sit there and, oh my gosh, actually I love showing this off. It took a lot of confidence to sit here and tinker with all these roses and build them over time and figure out what did and didn't work for me. And now I have these beautiful decorations, and I'm very, very grateful for them. Eventually I will get to like selling my potpourri, but that's not going to be for a while, and that's something that I'm okay with. I've committed long term to it, you know, and I know that that's something that I'm going to be doing like 2-3 years down the road. And so while I can't commit to doing it right this very second, I still know that it's going to be in my like long-term plan. Maybe that's another thing. Maybe you need to make a plan. Like for me, every single year I make a year plan. So like I have my 2025 plan. It's got like my finances, it's got a schedule. Then it's got like my social contacts. So like, who do I talk to weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, biannually? Who do I need to check in with? Then it's got like more emotional stuff, so like how to deal with my own emotions, how to deal with my triggers. It's essentially like a roadmap to being me, and it's something that, you know, I redo every year, and I'm really grateful to have, because it helps me feel a lot more it helps me feel a lot more grounded in myself, so that's one thing. But more importantly, it really does help me prioritize and get my ducks in a row, so I know what I'm doing that year. I know what my goals are. I know what I want to do. I even keep a little bucket list in the bottom of that. And then every 5 to 10 years, I create a 5-year and 10-year plan. So like this year, I was super excited because I made a 10-year business plan, and I love it. I cannot wait to see it through. But it's going to take that commitment. So you might be trying to figure out what is it that's worth committing to, and you might be feeling a little overwhelmed at this, like you're running out of time. But you've got all the time in the world, baby. You don't need to worry so much. This is your life to live. Let's go ahead and get into the tarot. Alrighty, I'm going to kickstart this with my mythical deck. Ooh, we have the sun in reverse. There's that. This is literally, and I can't even make this up. My sun card is all about marriage. It's all about commitment. So it's literally this energy just being repeated. That's so funny. I love how tarot is sometimes. Alright, so what are we not committing to? What is the struggle with commitment? Okay, you're not committing to a lot, it turns out. What is the struggle with commitment here, Spirit? Okay, we have the Four of Cups in reverse. We have the Queen of Swords upright. Stop that, knock it off. We have the High Priestess. You have a very slippery energy. There's a Nine of Pentacles. We have the Ace of Cups. We have the Page of Swords. Okay. Alright. On the back of the deck, I have my Seven of Wands. And we also have the Chariot in reverse. Okay. This feels like a very clear message. Hold on. Ugh. Bring me back that Mars energy. Oh, I got really, really sleepy all of a sudden. I'm not sure why. Maybe there's something that you're tired of. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you're not committing to something. It looks like it's something that, with my Four of Cups, this can often be a wishing, wanting, yearning energy. So it's almost like you refuse to commit to something that you don't want to do. And with my Queen of Swords, this might be something that's been pushed on you by like a parent. So this is like being told to go to college to be a lawyer or a doctor, when what you really want to do is you want to be like a content creator on YouTube. You know, that's something for me. Like I literally did go to law school. I went to law school, and I ended up dropping out like 6-7 different times. Every single time I would go back, I would remember by like week 2 exactly why I dropped out, because it was just so stressful. And it wasn't that I couldn't do it. It was just that I hated it. I hated doing it so much. It felt like such pointless work to me. But it made my family really happy. It made my dad feel really proud, you know. It made me feel a little bit nice to have my aunts and my uncles come to me and ask me for legal help, because they knew I had worked for an attorney for a while. But at the end of the day, I was super, super unhappy. And going to law school made me suicidal. Like repeatedly. Every single semester I spent in law school, I was like, I am gonna kill myself. Like genuinely, there's no out for me. And I kind of had to hit this brick wall where I was like, oh hey, maybe if going to law school makes me want to commit suicide, I should stop going to law school and find something else to do. Find out what actually makes me not want to kill myself at the end of the day. And that was kind of a big part of that is like I didn't want to disappoint my dad, and I didn't want to disappoint my family, and I had these expectations on myself of what I was expected to do as well, that I really had to work through and drop and get over in order to do what I wanted to do, which was being a tarot reader, ironically. You know, and I'm really happy with that. Oh my goodness, I actually lost power a second time here. But yeah, you know, I did want to be a tarot reader, and that was the truth of the matter. And what's so funny about that is that I actually do so much more work as a tarot reader than I ever did in law school. Like, I read more books, I do more studying, I spend way more time on projects and on homework, and I'm constantly learning. And it's not even, it's just as hard as law school was. Like, I'm reading books in other languages and translating and writing things down, and you know, I'm sitting here making dozens of lists, and I've got clients, and I've got appointments to keep, and I have files that I have to maintain, and you know, I've got just on my desk alone, I have 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books technically 8 if you count this mini one. And I've read every single one of them, and I'm constantly referring back to them. I even bring them up in these readings to read to you guys. So, like, it's the work that I do now as a tarot reader, it's not easier by any means, but I'm a lot more passionate about it. I'm a lot happier doing it. This doesn't feel like a burden to me. I love coming on here and doing these readings. I love, being able to do the archetypal series where it's more like epistemology than it is just doing like silly gossip readings. It's something that makes me feel very fulfilled, very satisfied, and very harmonious with myself. I feel like I know myself a lot better because I'm no longer trying to exist under this guise of like, oh, I'm a traditional attorney. And while I was great at law, it's not like I was bad at it. It just stressed me out. It made me feel exhausted. And it was something that I hated doing. On a day-to-day basis, I would wake up and just hate my life. And now, on a day-to-day basis, I wake up and I intentionally plan around doing readings that I love doing. And I try to figure out which readings I would want to do the most and why, which ways that I can set up my readings so that way I feel more comfortable and I feel happier and I have structure. And it is something that has really brought a lot of happiness into my life. And I've been able to branch off of my tarot readings as well. I've made like bath bombs. I've made like soap boxes. I've made like cleansing products like potpourri or hand sanitizers or the bath bombs. And that all has to do with this kind of spirituality because I think this is what I'd love to do. And just in opening up the door to, I want to be a tarot reader. I don't want to be this attorney. I don't want to follow the dreams that other people have put into place for me. I want to follow my own dreams. Just opening that door opened up into like this huge hallway of doors. And I can go through any of them, and each and every single one makes me feel just as fulfilled as the next, And just like I said with my potpourri, like I spent a long time perfecting my formulas for potpourri, but every single second of it was worth it because I enjoyed doing it, and the kind of knowledge that came with it made me so happy. So that leads me into this 9 of Pentacles here, this harmonious energy, this, being able to create a life in itself, just like Frankenstein. It's about finding what is going to create that spark inside of you, what is going to really get your heart beating again, make you feel exhilarated. Because from right now, I can see that you hate your situation. You hate whatever it is that you're doing. You're not very satisfied, and you don't know where to go from here. You're, riding this horse with your head cut off. You don't really know what you want to do. So a lot of Libra energy here, because I'm picking up Libra, Virgo, Taurus, Libra here, there's Cancer here, there's Leo here. We've got Cancer again, we've got Leo again. There is a lot of beautiful energy here. It's like, I think if you were to spend some time comparing your life currently to what your dream life would look like, I think it would look very, very, very different. And I think you might even recognize the misery that's in your current life that's caused by other people's opinions. And that's where we get the 7 of Wands. My 7 of Wands card is external conflict, right? It's other people coming towards you and causing conflict. And you're juggling so much in this situation, trying to make everyone happy, and it's exhausting you at the end of the day. That's so funny. We have the Headless Horseman, right? And then here we have Kali eating his head. Oh, that's so funny to me. Yeah, so I do feel like there's a sense, number 1, to figure out what it is that you want to do, what you would love to do, and 2, make a plan for that. Put it in action. So that way other people can't sit here and tell you like, oh, you don't know what you're doing. Oh, you need to just do what I say because you don't know what you're doing. We have this Chariot here. This is giving me like unstoppable object meets immovable, or unstoppable force meets immovable object. Where it's almost like you feel very much as if you follow your own dreams, you're going to butt heads with the people around you. So you might feel stuck, like you can't go towards the things that you want. And that might be true. You might not be able to do it very quickly. But just like me, I've spent like, I don't know, 10, 15 years learning tarot, reading tarot books, learning about roses and plants and herbs and all that fun stuff. It's been a very, very long process. But at the end of the day, it was something I was extremely happy to do. Yeah, because you don't want to spend all this time doing something that, 1, you feel like is not a good opportunity for you, right? It doesn't make you happy. And 2, it makes you feel restless and paranoid, as if you're constantly failing in unfair relationships. And let me be serious with you, okay? Let me just touch base with you. Anyone who's going to try to force you to do something that you don't want to do for the rest of your fucking life is not a friend to you. They don't love you. They don't care about you the way that you need to be cared about. Okay, you need people who are going to support you. Now, not enable you. They should not enable you to do bad things, to do things that are harmful to you. Nobody here has enabled me, you know, into like quitting my job and just focus on growing roses. No, I still worked a 9 to 5. I still paid my bills. I still did everything that maintained my life, but I also focused in on my hobbies, you know? And so that's kind of what we're getting to, is like, you need to find people who are going to support what you're doing rather than, rather than force you to do something, like put you on this wheel and poke at you and cripple you, make you do things that you don't want to do. You got to find out where your work should go. Alrighty, I want to go ahead and get into some advice. I'm going to kick this advice off with a channeled song. Okay, it looks like we have two. We have I Am by Baby Tate, which is affirmations and self-care. It says, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am rich. I'm going to go get that bag, and I am not going to take your shit. I am protected, well respected, I'm a queen. Gorgeous. And then the second one that's coming out, this is Gucci Prada Balenciaga by Haley Knox. This is my rich girl mood, money. This is my rich girl mood song, right? It says, I want a Birkin bag for my wrist. Isn't it fucking lovely when everything falls into place? I can have whatever I want. And that's kind of the mood, is like, dude, can I be so serious with you? I wanted to be an attorney because I wanted to make like $1 million a year. That was kind of my thing. Is I was like, you know, I want a job that will make me a lot of money. But what I didn't consider is that I can have a job that makes me a lot of money and makes me happy. I didn't realize I could have both of those. And I on top of that, I didn't realize that I deserved to have the combination of the two. And what I realized is like, oh, I can do tarot, and I can make like multiple streams of income. I can do like private readings, and then I can sell potpourri, and I can sell my bath bombs, and I can have my business, right? And then I can also do free readings and be able to meet with my community, and I can do classes if I want, just like this. Like, this would be considered a free class, you know? Because we're doing archetypal epistemology, and we're studying it, and we're seeing its application, we're looking at its roots, we're reading from all the books. So like, I can offer classes, I can do so many different things that would create like 5, 6 different revenue streams if I decided to monetize it. And that can absolutely make me a ton of money. And realizing that I can do both without being miserable, that was a game changer for me, dude. It was such a game changer for me, because I realized like, oh, I don't have to suffer for happiness. I know it seems backwards to think of it that way, but you know, I grew up in situations where, like, my dad, for example, he's worked 12 to 15 hours a day in factories since he was like in his early 20s. And I watched that, and that seems insanely miserable to me. I could not, I don't have the strength to do that. I think I would actually go insane. Like, I would be in a psych ward in a couple months. But to me, you know, I look at his life, and it's like he does all of this in order to like pay his bills and to do his hobbies and to go on vacation and to go to concerts, because that's what my dad really likes. He really likes going to concerts, you know? He likes gambling. He likes alcohol. So he does all this so he can buy nice whiskey and rum. And so, you know, he can have change or quarters. Like, he gets coffee every single morning before he goes to work, so he can have change for his weekly card games with his brothers. So my dad quite literally is like he's miserable just to be happy, and it's a nutty complex, but that's something that I grew up around, and that I would watch and go like, I really don't want to do that. I really, really, really don't want to do that. I actually just want to be happy. Like, that's it. That's my goal, is to just be happy without all the suffering and the misery having to like build up in order for me to attain that happiness. Let's get some zodiac signs. So we had Libra, Aquarius, we had a lot of Cancerian energy come out. I don't think we had Aquarius. I think we had Leo, Libra, Cancer, Taurus. Taurus had come out. We have Moon in Scorpio. Negative attitudes and fiery arguments are possible at this time. Channel your energies into positive physical activities like decorating or gardening. Yeah, and this is so funny, because when I dropped out of law school, like, a lot of people in my life were kind of upset with me. because number one, I spent a lot of money on law school. I kept trying and trying and trying. And every single time I dropped out, not only would I like disappoint myself, but it was kind of disappointing to my family as well, where they were just like, wow, like we were really rooting for you to be able to be like the attorney, you know, and to get out of poverty like the rest of us. But I had different ideas for myself, and it kind of came to a point where I had to stop my dad, who was like, no, like, you need to stay in law school, you need to keep doing this. I kind of had to stop him and be like, hey, like, I really believe in myself to go down this route, and I need you to believe in me too. It's kind of like that Chicken Little energy, where he's like, Dad, like, I need you to believe in me. Like, can you support me in this? Like, for once, like, I need you to stop fighting me with what I want to do, with what my ideas are, because it's constantly proven that you fight with me, and then we do what you say, and you're wrong. You are wrong. So, like, please just, like, listen to me and support me, because that's what I need. That's how I can get closure in this situation. And so it is about, like, I feel like this reading is heavily about, like, standing up for yourself against people who don't have your best interests at heart. They might think they have your best interests at heart, and that really does come from, like, a place of love. Like, my dad wanted me to continue to complete law, and that came from a real big place of love. It really did. But that wasn't what made me happy. And mine didn't change until I got my first big potpourri order. I got an order for, like, I think it was like 3,000 units of potpourri in like my first year, and it was a massive order. It was like $70,000, and I showed it to my dad, and I was like, I think I have to turn this order down because I don't have like the resources to do this. But my dad was psyched. He was like, oh my God, like, you can make a lot of money doing this. Like, this is gonna be successful. And I was like, you finally see it. Like, you finally see it, and now you're supporting me. And that was such like a beautiful moment of connection for me and my dad, where a lot of like the arguments about what I wanted to do with my life kind of stopped, because he was like, oh, like, I see it now. Like, there is real potential for, you're not just like, you know, wasting your potential here. You're actually, you know, it was really nice. It was very nice. He was like, you're multiplying your potential in this situation. I was like, thank you, Dad. So we have a couple more. We do have Sagittarius coming out, Moon in Sagittarius. And then we also had the frog totem. I love the frogs. This is my collective, for sure. So with my frog totem, the path has been cleared for you to make a change that seemed previously unattainable. Yeah, if you needed a sign to go towards your dreams, to chase after your dreams, and to stop listening to what other people want for you, this is it. Let me be that sign for you, because I am someone who did exactly that. I went against all odds, and I'm very satisfied with what I've done. We also have Scorpio coming out at the back of the deck a second time. I love Scorpio energy because it is very, very, very creative. And one thing that I love about Scorpio energy is that it's well nourished, okay? It is something that, like, once you feed into it, it's just a fat and happy energy to be in. I always try to keep my Scorpios well fed, otherwise they get a little crazy and they make bad decisions. Okay. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get some self-care for this pile. We have deep breathing, number 19. Yeah, that's something too. Like, if you are fighting with someone, just instead of fighting with them, just take a deep breath. This is something that I do a lot, is like whenever I get really, really upset with someone because, again, they don't have my best interests at heart in the way that I need them to, I'll take a nice big deep breath and go, can I forgive them for this? Is this forgivable? And it's such a weird thing where, like, the moment I think, is this forgivable, it's like all the anger just kind of washes out of my body. And I'm like, okay, yeah, no, this is forgivable. I can move on. I don't have to argue with you because this is a forgivable situation. And I forgive you for trying to argue with me. And I forgive you for not seeing the vision that I see just yet. We have ground yourself, number 25, at the back of the deck. So maybe taking some time to meditate, to think about what it is that you want to do. You know, while we're here, I'll go ahead and grab a meditation card. What can this pile do to meditate, to help them encourage themselves, to push themselves? Ooh, we have 2. Beautiful. We have yoga. This is an active form of meditation. Start by looking up beginner yoga stretches. A few minutes every day will increase blood flow and oxygen. We have sit outside. Pick a quiet place in a park or under a tree. Sit quietly and observe the world around you. Try to engage every sense. Notice the people, the color of the grass, the smells in the air, and the wind on your face. Beautiful. I like that they're the same color because, like, not every single card in this deck is the same color like that, you know? So I like that they actually came out the exact same colors. So yeah, I feel like there's like a path. Maybe spending some time outside or stretching, that's going to lead you down the right path. It's like one after another. Beautiful. Alrighty, I'm going to just grab one affirmation card for this pile. Just one, please, Spirit. Thank you. Today I'm respectful. Today I will acknowledge other people's thoughts and feelings as well as my own. Yeah, like it took a lot. I had to, you know, stop myself. Oh, I love all the color matching here. I had to stop myself with my dad and be like, you know, I see exactly where he's going with this. And I love him for that. And I need to be respectful of the fact, like, my dad just wants to see me succeed. He wants to see me live a functioning life, you know, outside of him and outside of my family. But I also have to acknowledge, like, it's going to take time. And I'm okay with it taking time, even if he's not. And I need to be respectful of that. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and get into some charms here. So if you're noise sensitive, now's a good time to turn down the volume, as this can get a little bit loud. Okay, okie dokie. Wow, we have a lot of mini tarot. Okay, I wasn't expecting this many. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and start with the mini tarot here. So yeah, I feel like you might feel like you don't have many options. Or the options that you do have, you're not sure which route to take. You're not sure which cup that you need to pick. There's a lot about not feeling very fulfilled. Because my Seven of Cups, while it is about options and choices and different routes you can take, it's heavily about soul fulfillment, right? Upright it is about, like, which of these cups is going to bring me the most fulfillment in a situation? Which one is the most true to me? And with my High Priestess, I feel like you're on a journey here. You need to look at your past and at your present, and in order to look towards your future, to figure out what it is that you want to do. I can sense that there is something here about finances being highlighted. This might have you kind of cranky, crabby, feeling unfulfilled financially, feeling like there is more for you. And this is something that I, you know, again, I grew up in poverty. So I grew up with like a lot of poverty mindsets, a lot of the idea, the concept that there is not enough money, right? Because that's what a lot of poverty is. It's believing that there is not enough money. Let me be the one to clarify that there is over 70 trillion. I can't even imagine. Imagine $70 trillion in a room. You can't. It would overflow. It would overflow in a mansion. That's an asinine amount of money. There's $70 trillion in the world. $70 trillion in the world. There's so much money out there. So no, money is not in short, it's not at all in short supply. Okay, there's so much money out there, and it's going to find you in expected and unexpected ways. That's actually an affirmation that I'm going to write down for you guys here, because I think you will enjoy it. But it is, money finds me in expected and unexpected ways. Oh, I think my pen's gonna die. But yes, if you, like, money is always out there. So if finances, you know, is your concern right now, you need to get over it. Babe, there's so much money out there, and it's gonna find you. It actually has no choice to, because that's how the world works. Alright? It just is. Wow, my pen just completely stopped working. That's so strange. Hold on. I think I have another one. There we go. But yeah, maybe that's a good affirmation for you guys, is money finds me in expected and unexpected ways. If that is where you're really stressing out, or if that's where you're struggling because you're worried that like you don't have the money to make something happen, or you don't have the money to invest in yourself and your goals, you do. It will come to you. It will. It has no choice. We have a man's best possession is a sympathetic wife. Yeah, it does give me the sense that like maybe you just need someone who is supportive of you. Wish she were here. Yeah. Maybe you miss someone. Maybe someone who gave you that kind of motivation and support. Always on the bright side. Always on the bright side. Coming up twice here. Yeah, it's about looking positive. Looking at things positively. Instead of always focusing on like how things aren't going to work out, start focusing on how things can work out, and how really they have no choice but to work out for you. There might be some karma here from a past life happening, or maybe you are meant to complete your work from a past life in this lifetime. I see addiction might be an issue here. Addictions might be highlighted here. And you might be single at this time. Or maybe you need to be single. Because there are a lot of partners out there who straight up just like they don't want their partner to do better than them. So they keep telling them like, oh, you can't, or they won't invest in their beliefs. So maybe you need to walk away from someone who is refusing to invest in the best of you. I have my little teddy bear here. I feel as if there is this dream that you've kept since childhood. Something that you really want to do, and that's why that like past energy is being highlighted again. Maybe you were born with like a specific power or talent, because we did have psychic abilities show up at the beginning. I've got my little black kitten. This is often my black sheep token. So you might feel like an outcast. You might feel different. You might feel like you aren't able to really speak up. Or you might just have a black cat. Who knows? I have one of my growth tokens here. So I see you growing, expanding in different ways, branching out. Time seems to be important here. Yeah, I feel like you might feel like you're on a deadline, or like you don't have enough time, but you do. You need to let go of your constraints, your restrictions to do with time. And then I have my little stingray here. This is all about boundaries, and it's more importantly, it's about having a backbone. This is all about growing a spine, being able to stand up for the things that you believe in and that you want for yourself. Alrighty, well, that's what I'm seeing for you today. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Let me know down in the comments how you felt about this reading. Let me know what that angel number message, that 351, what came up for you when you looked that up. I would love to read it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!